Their brushes in boundary patrolling occurred miles and months separately, but they include one item in overall: the authorities who arrested them weren't work on the boundary. Couple thirds of the U.S. lives within the as-called 100 mi boundary area, that includes several whole state, consisting Florida, Michigan, Maine, and Hawaii, onto the U.S. Civilian Civil Liberties Association. Activists blame the agent of racially profile and infringing constitution rights as its coercion efforts go internal. Conduct migration checks in the 100 mi area isn't a new experience, and the isn't a new discussion. But he's been receive more than focus recently as the Trump Card Authority ratchets up its crackdown on illicit migration. There's a C at several latter cases, and the issues they lift, and broker heard her talk Spanish and requested for her ID. The instance, Ana Suda says, which begun as a deceased night travel to buy eggs and breast milk, took a remarkable rotate recent 1 week in Havre, Montana, on 35 miles of the US-Canada boundary. Suda says a boundary patrolling broker heard her talk Spanish, later stopped her in the keep and requested to see her ID. In a live video Suda written of the occurrence, she asks why she and her boyfriend were singled out and accuses the broker of profile. It has anything to do in how, the broker tells her. He's the reality how it has to do in you folks talk Spanish in the keep in a country wherever he's mainly British speaking. Suda says she and her boyfriend were both of unborn in the joint state and were permitted to keep the gas plant following on 40 protocol. The discussion, activists were fast to spot out how down there's anything illicit on talk Spanish in Montana or everywhere else in the joint state. In a declaration, CBP told its agents include wide law coercion authorities, consisting the credibility to issue individuals, do arrests, and get and believe testimony. CBP says the occurrence is by overview. Decisions to issue individuals are relying on a kind of factors for that boundary patrolling agents are so trained, an agent representative told in a declaration. The occurrence is creature discussed to provide how all relevant policies were accompanied. They requested passengers on a Borzoi bus to show their papers. The instance, boundary patrolling agents boarded up a Borzoi bus in Fortress Lauderdale, Florida, in January, request passengers to show identity. Live video of the occurrence shows them interrogative a female, later take her and her baggage off the coach. Boundary patrolling agents regularly hold law coercion activities at transport hubs as portion of a laminated attitude to prevent illicit aliens of mobile future in the joint state, CBP told. The discussion, a comrade occupant's cage telephone live video of the detention distribution quickly on the internet. Expert were fast to spot out how he's anything new to see boundary patrolling agents conduct migration sweeps on buses or trains. But the live video added crisp pulse to a shove of suggest, who embattled the experience. Borzoi told its hands were connected. The ACLU argues how the bus business isn't juridically required to let agents out of warrants on board, though in the 100 mi area. Borzoi, the email told, should not be in the industry of subjecting its passengers to frightening interrogations, suspicionless searches, unjustified arrests, and the risk of exile. She led to the clinic, and ended up in guardianship. Hernandez's household and their supporters described her arrest as brutal and superfluous. Migration officials told the procedures were usual coercion of the nationality's migration laws. Proper to the youthful's care state, boundary patrolling agents accompanied her and his cousin to a Body Christie clinic wherever she could get relevant care. Thoroughness, CBP told in a declaration following Rose Maria was arrested. In the migration laws of the joint state, one day medically purified she will be machined respectively. The discussion, CBP rest checkpoints love the one wherever Rose Maria was arrested on main busiest streets and in some areas in the 100 mi area through the southwestern. Het Lodge, the CBP representative, told checkpoints are urgent for CBP's migration coercion efforts and supporting the detention of penal violators. The agent's credibility to use them, he told, has been upheld by the high trial. It very does influence boundary residents' lives day to day, if you dwell in the area, says Chris Rickard, politics advisor in the ACLU's Domestic Policy Propaganda Division. But which happens at checkpoints, he says, should question to all Americans, no question how shut they dwell to the boundary.